Hello again, it's Min. Got my good buddy Michael here today. We're going to show you how to make a couple of really great dishes. What have you got today for us, Michael?
We are going to be French frying potatoes from scratch. Very simple, a little bit of technique involved, but I promise you it will be the best French fries you've ever had.
To go with the French fries, we have a sort of Creole style sautéed shrimp with avocado and sausage gateaux. Find out what all that means in just a few minutes. It's going to be awesome. Your friends will love it. And we'll see you in the kitchen in a few minutes. Alright, so we're going to saute the shrimp. I have about a quarter of a cup of olive oil in here and about 6 cloves of garlic, finely chopped. I don't want the oil to be too hot. The garlic will burn. I don't want the oil to be too cold. The garlic won't cook. I want to sweat it, so somewhere in the middle. Medium high. This is the sound you're looking for. Listen. Alright. When you begin to smell the aroma of the garlic, you want to wait about a minute to start adding your other ingredients. The only real other ingredient in this is shrimp. I have a bowl of it here. This shrimp was already cooked. It's been peeled, it's been deveined, it's 100 count, so they're really small. It doesn't really matter, you get the best shrimp you want. But in essence, we're just going to heat them up in this particular step. If they weren't cooked, I would myself peel and devein them and cook them a little bit longer during this process. So the garlic is looking like it's where it needs to be. And in go the shrimp. Alright, so since I started with cooked shrimp, I don't want to cook this for too long. I've got the shrimp moderately heated up, I've got the garlic cooked through. The next step is to add just a hint of rosemary, a pinch of chopped fresh rosemary that I harvested this morning at the garden. And a little bit of fresh thyme, just a pinch, just to sort of bring the herbaceousness out. Kosher salt, about a teaspoon. And plenty of black pepper, as you may have noticed. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the shrimp off the heat now and set them aside. Oh, it smells great. Peeling an avocado can be a very dangerous process. If you have a really sharp knife, and you're confident in your motor abilities, then you should use this technique. Every avocado is going to have, this is a Haas avocado, you have a little part where the stem came out, basically 2 halves and then a pit in the middle. You basically want to split your avocado down the middle on the stem, okay? So you start there and you're going to push down until your knife can't go any further. That means you've hit the pit. All the way around the pit. Rubik's Cube twist, separate, slide with the pit, stick it in a knife, take your knife, drive it 1/4 of an inch into the center of the pit, give it a twist like Rubik's Cube once again, it'll pop right out, stick your pit back in the towel and pull your knife away, voila. Next step of your avocado is to score it. This is going to save you steps after you get it out of the skin, so you don't have to slip all over the cutting board trying to cut up the messy avocado. So you take it very carefully in your hand. You may want to use a towel for this step again, just for safety's sake. You're going to cut it all the way to the skin with the tip of the knife, but don't cut through this skin, and just sort of make stripes going down the length of the fruit, and then you're going to, guess what, cross it. Just like that. Same thing, don't go through the skin of the fruit again. Next step, take a spoon, and scoop your scored avocado out into its receptive vesicle. Whatever a vesicle is. There it is. So I've got the shrimp sauteed earlier that I coarse chopped to about that big, just little chunks of it, to match about the same size that the avocado was cut into. So I'm going to show you, what we're going to do is make a sort of shrimp guacamole, for lack of better words. I'm juicing a lemon here. I obviously don't want seeds or pith or anything like that. Lemon juice, avocado from earlier. So this shrimp is going to go into the avocado. Alright. The juice of the lemon. A couple tablespoons of salt. I'm sorry, teaspoons. Don't go crazy. Black pepper. Okay. I have about 4 leaves of fresh basil here. I'm going to chiffonade, which is a very, very fine ribbon of basil. Alright, once you have that goes into the shrimp as well, and the avocado. I have sour cream here, about 2 tablespoons. Okay, and I'm going to take about 2 cloves of roasted garlic. It's just whole garlic cloves that we simmered in oil until they're a paste. You can see it's kind of make some goo there. Stick that in there. Alright, and you want to sort of fold it all together. Once you get this mixture mixed, you're going to taste for the trinity of balance, you know, salt, sweet, acid. You're going to get a chunk of shrimp and a chunk of avocado in there. Make sure it's well seasoned. It's a little heavy on the acid. So I put a whole freaking lemon in, which is okay. It needs a little bit of salt to balance it out. And I'm going to toy with the idea of some honey. Here's my massive epic bottle of honey once again. And we're going to go with about a tablespoon will do. Alright, that just gets folded into it. Okay, so in essence, a shrimp guacamole. I'm going to taste it once again for seasoning. Very important. Perfection. So I've got I'm going to sear sausage now. For the gâteau, I have a medium-sized saute pan with a couple tablespoons of olive oil in there. I'm going to sear the sausage. Very simple. You don't want to crowd the pan when you're searing, so I'm going to do 3 at a time right now.
What's that, man?
If you crowd the pan, you lose temperature, Mike. Alright, so you want to get nice and brown on one side. You flip them over, Leslie. So now, I'm going to take the ones that I've already seared up. I'm going to put them back in the pan here. And this whole mess is going to go in the oven. I have it preheated to 400 degrees. Just like that. Pop it shut. And I'm going to set it there for about 20 minutes. A gâteau, by definition, is really just layers of food. Okay, but beyond that, we need something to keep the layers from falling apart. So I devised this sort of cheese goo thing. I'm going to make it sour cream based. I needed something wet. To buy my dry ingredients, I have about 8 to 10 ounces of sour cream. I have about 3 ounces of crumbled feta. That crumble is not crumbly enough, so I'll crumble a little bit more. This goes right into my sour cream. Additionally, about 2 ounces of grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Delicious. Important tablespoon of salt, half tablespoon approximately. Teaspoon of black pepper. Okay. A pinch of fresh thyme. and rosemary as well. And then I'm going to use 2 of these garlic cloves as well, and just a splash of the oil. That's going to be delicious. Now I'm going to smash the roasted garlic cloves here, and then just sort of mix it all together. Cheese is cheese. It's salty, it's acidic. There's only so many things you can do to it flavor-wise without still being, tasting like cheese. So I'll taste it for a general idea of balance. I think that's perfect. Alright, so now we're going to saute the peppers. I have this pepper mixture. I have jalapenos, these long hots that Mr. McCartan grows, some bells, some sweets, whatever kind of peppers you like. Throw into some hot oil in a saute pan. Don't forget to season. Salt, about a tablespoon. I find that people generally undersalt their vegetables. There's a lot of water in vegetables, and when you cook them, you lose a lot of that water, and it just gives potential to under-season. So you want to season rather generously with salt and pepper. Woo! Give it a couple flips, let it sit there. All right.
Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is wash off the potato. We're choosing to leave the skin on because there's a lot of nutrition and flavor to the fries. The reason why you want to wash them off is because the potatoes are from the ground, so there's a lot of dirt on there. And folks may argue that dirt don't hurt, but it's very gritty and tasteless. You're going to want to slice them. I have some prepared over here. About a 1/4 inch wide, square. It's very important to have a sharp knife, and I chose also to use, this is called a hollow ground. It helps the potato not stick to the knife as you're going through it. Begin by slicing it, once again about a 1/4 inch wide. That leaves, so that way you can get all the slicing out of the way and come back and cut them all across lengthwise. Achieving the shape of the French fry. Some would call it a julienne, but technically a julienne is a 1/8 of an inch matchstick. So we'll just call them batonets. Before we blanch the potatoes, you're going to want to keep them in a pot of cold water, just so it prevents them from oxidizing before you get to that next step. The next step is blanching and shocking. The reason why we blanch them is so that they are cooked the way that we want them, and they don't get overcooked when we fry them or undercooked when we fry them. We're par cooking them right now. You let them sit in the boiling water about 4 to 5 minutes. I've cooked them so that they're not completely, soft, and that way there's still room for them to cook in the oil. You want to get a bowl of cold water ready. Put ice water in them to stop them immediately. That's the idea. Before you put the fries in the oil, you're going to want to lightly dust them in cornstarch. Reason being is it helps the fry maintain a crispy outer shell and hold that crispiness for a longer period of time. I throw it into this little strainer because if you have too much, you'll get like a gummy coating on the outside. So we're going to place them in here and then shake them off. once again, as Min said about crowding a pan, you don't want to crowd the fryer either. So depending on how many people you're cooking for, you want to do it in small batches. You'll see that as the fries cook, the amount of turbulence, the bubbles from the oil starts to dissipate. So when the bubbles are just about, you know, almost gone, it's time to pull them out because they're cooked and there's a nice crispy outer shell. Okay, so since the oil's shallower than I thought it would be, we'll pull them out with a slotted spoon and get them onto some paper towels. It's best to season your fries while they're hot. That way the salt and other seasonings will dissolve and be absorbed into the French fries.
The final step is assembly. I have my favorite plate here, with a little ring mold. Got my sausage, my shrimp guacamole mixture, my cheese goo. French fries that Mr. Michael made for us. They're beautiful, they're crispy, delicious. And we also have these sauteed peppers. The sausage I pulled out of the oven and sliced it really thin on an angle. And that's going to be the first thing that goes into my ring mold. You can really impress your friends with a ring mold, or you can really slap it all on a plate and have them go crazy. But anyway, so I'll first start with the sausage. I want to cover the first layer here of the ring mold with some sausage. Make sure you don't see any plate with this first layer, because you want to be able to stack everything on top without it all leaking out to the bottom. Okay, so these peppers, I'll take a fork full of peppers and stick them in there thusly. Okay. My next move is going to be this cheese mixture. Give you a tablespoon of that. Okay. And then finally, this shrimp avocado mixture right on top. Okay, so leave the ring mold on for now. Next step is this rémoulade. Take a spoonful of it. Okay. I'm just going to sort of and then carefully slide the ring mold out. Voila!